and he's always eating my eggs up. That dirty old egg-sucking dog.
That bar's a dirty dog if I ever sawed one. Polecat, where you been, boy? Get yourself over here. Stories going round about you. Why, some folks is saying you dayed. Well, you look too dayed to me, so I guess we done unplugged that one. Now, next thing I heard was that you took off for Louisiana, living on swamp land, eating bugs. Them bugs crawl around in the water down there. And somebody else says you done gone to the North Pole, become an Eskimo. Lord, Lord, got to be that Beasley woman telling them things. That woman, some says she got a screw loose. I says she ain't got no screws. You know that woman, husband died about a year ago. You know, she wouldn't let folks bury him in the churchyard. You know what she done? She set him up in the parlor, tied him to a straight back chair, doused him real good with turpentine. Ain't nobody going around there to see her neither. No, sir. She ain't got no visitors till 2 days ago when little Roscoe went by. I see Grandma had us out there in the barnyard in midnight in the moonlight, and we's rounding up possums for possum stew. Come up with several there, wiggly sacks, and why, Grandma went on off to bed, told little Roscoe to finish them things off. Little Roscoe's a tender-hearted boy, just couldn't do it. So what he done, he went to the Beasley house. Gert Beasley so happy to see company, she let him right in the house, wiggly sacks and all. Little Roscoe went off in the parlor, right up to Mr. Beasley, and he taken out them wiggly possums one at a time and held it face to face with Mr. Beasley. And one at a time, them possums keeled over Dave. Grandma's so proud of him. And ain't none of us telling how he done it either. No, sir. We's keeping the secret. Son, I wish you'd done come earlier today. Seemed like this my day for company. Bass Feeney come by. Brung me this here rock, what looked like a tater. Grandpa come out, give Bass a Rudy Bager, looked like a jackrabbit. I give him a fence rail, looked like a lathe, got a knee and everything. Then Grandma seen Bass is here, and why, she come out and she had a big, fine tomato she done growed herself, and she tell Bass that looked like her Aunt Lulu. So, Bass got ready to leave there. He says, now, you ain't need to run this past your grandma, but when I get back to the house, I'm going to slice up Aunt Lulu, and she's going to land on a platter of poached chops. Yes, sir? So that was something else I had to tell you there, boy. Well, figuring to tell you something else going on around here lately, since you ain't been around and folks thought you was dead. By the way, I sure is glad you ain't. Well, Melvin Wally got himself a mule. That mule would not stay to home. No, sir. Wander off there, be gone for days. Melvin ain't knowing where he at. This here last time that mule wandered off, why, he's gone for 2 weeks. Melvin not knowing where he could be. Till he heard from Cricket Picket that mule was hanging out in his bean field, stuffing himself tight with beans. So, Melvin went over there and got that mule and taking him on back home and hitched him up for a ride over to Sadie Kitchens' place. Now, Sadie Kitchens, been trying to get him to come for supper. So Melvin decided he was going to go. Now, she lived about 9-10 miles down the road, see? So Melvin and that mule and that wagon is rolling along, and Melvin come to want to smoke. And well, what he was thinking on was sweet Sadie. That fine supper she's going to have waiting, and after supper, out there on the porch swing, sweet Sadie kind of cuddled up next to him, you see there. The moonlight is shining down, them sipping on elderberry wine, and he's filling her head with sweet things the women folk likes to hear. And he's a-thinking he might even get himself some dessert. Well, that there was what he was thinking on, and that was all he was a-thinking on. And what he should have ordered been thinking on is what was pouring out the rear end of that binged-up muleism. But he weren't. So Melvin get his backer pouch, and he'd get it out, and he'd pack his pipe nice and tight. And then he striked up a match. And when he done that, why, that mule and that wagon and Melvin exploded. They exploded. And well, when he ain't showed up for supper at Sadie's house, why, she figured something just happened, but he'd be along directly. But when he ain't showed up and not tall and morning come, why, she's fit to be tied, and she got hold of the sheriff. Now, the sheriff in them parts is a cracker jack, and he's set to do an investigation. 'Twarn't long till Miss Riley out there sweeping on her front porch, and she found part of a feller's shirt, see, with the pocket, backer pouch right in that pocket. And then old man Smedley up there patching on his barn roof, and he come to find a mule tail up there. And then old man Collie out getting his mail, and he found a boot out there, a feller's foot still in that boot. All this here getting reported back to the sheriff, see? And then when he heard from Cricket Picket about that mule hanging out in the bean field there, why, he taken all these clues you see there, Polecat, and he stitched them together like a quilt, and he figured what happened. And there at the Remembry service there, why, the preacher says, now, we is going to miss Melvin. We is sure enough going to miss that Melvin. But, he says, now, you all here take comfort in the fact that Melvin and that mule and that wagon is a traveling on down glory land. Yes, sir, they sure is. So don't cry over them. They going down the glory road. So, you see, stuff's been going on around here, Polecat, since you've been daid. But you ain't daid. Ah, me. Polecat, you know Delbert Dingle, don't you? I don't know if you know, though, that his pappy done passed away and left Delbert a real prime piece of land there. And old Delbert's out there working on that land and out there in the middle of it, and all of a sudden it come up a lightning storm. Fierce it was. Delbert ain't got nowhere to go, and he got striked by the lightning in the hay. It seemed like ever since then, why, Delbert walked backwards, see? Walked backwards everywhere he go. We done got kind of used to seeing him walking all over the county, going backwards. But he do pretty good. Yes, sir, till he stumbled on to the Collie land, Tater Collie there. Yes, sir, he got a deep well, I want you to know. And dang if Delbert didn't tumble right over backwards into that well. Oh, it taken a whole lot of fellers and a whole lot of rope to haul him out of there. And one of the fellers hauling was Preacher Poe. So, Preacher Poe got to thinking on this here fix that Delbert's in. And he's been getting him up to the church house come Sundays. Gets him to stand up front there, right in front of everybody, and he says, "Now I want you all to gaze here on Delbert Dingle." Now, Delbert can see real good where he's done been, but he can't see a thing where he's a-going. And Poe say, "Now, ain't that the way it is with every single one of us?" He says, "I want you to take a lesson from this here Delbert. What just goes right on by faith." I see, he can't see where he's a-going. We can't see where we's a-going. But we go anyway, doesn't we? By faith. So you all hold tight to that, Darcy. Just the other day, me and Preacher Poe went fishing, see? Yeah, sitting there on the bank. Got our lines in the water there, and I come to have a pull on mine, so I tug on that thing, and I pull in this here thing, what is brown and green and slimy. Got a eyeball on one side of its head like this here. Got an eyeball on this here other side of its head like this here. Them things are swiveling back and forth, see? Poe say, "You done caught a toadfish. Pitch it back in the water there." So I did, and you know, I got thinking on that thing though. That fish kindly put me in mind of my gal friend Hildy. Dang if that fish didn't look like Hildy. Yes, sir. Sure enough. Well, Polecat, I was awful glad to see that you was ticking and you ain't dead. You come back around here quick as you can. Yes, sir. I want Grandma to see you. She ain't home right now. She's up at her sewing circle. I want Grandpa and Grandma and everybody to see you, and I was going to tell everybody I see that you ain't dead. So I'll see all you people next time. Meantime, you be good. I'll be trying to be good. And if you hear that somebody's dead, why, you double check on that door, you hear me? Goodbye till next time. I love y'all. I love y'all. Lord have mercy.